Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is your moment. I'm Katarina Miletic, and you are listening to the podcast that will challenge you to think with your soul and believe that your only power is inside you.
Well, first of all, there's a huge difference between riding the bus and looking out the window and saying, "Oh, I'd like to go there. Oh, I'd like to go there. I wonder where we're going." And being the driver of that bus and saying, "This is where we're going." And I see you two as being the drivers of the bus of your life.
Very
Like
much.
you're living on purpose, both of you. It's so inspirational. And there's such a difference between living on purpose and just sort of drifting through life.
Yes.
And Patrick, that was beautiful. But I have to tell you, I've been putting more of my whole mantra is let it be easy. Just whatever it is, just let it be easy. And I've been spending a lot more of my conscious mind in the driver's seat, letting God drive. And just really enjoying the ride, getting to the whole thing. So it's really that being a passenger there. Now, one of the things I'll tell you is I've been a passenger of other people that I've placed in a high position and such. And I've walked away disappointed from that. But when I put God in that position, I'm never, ever
Yes,
disappointed
sir.
with the
I
results
applaud that.
Absolutely.
Yes, man, there's such resonance here. We were talking about that last night, and we were talking about the working, this sense that you have to work for it. Like some people, like just something as simple as relaxing. They clench their fists and say, "I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna relax if it kills me."
I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
That's totally
I'm a little
different.
bit jealous that you guys obviously have a lot more conversations than what I'm included in on, but we'll talk about that later.
But man, you're right there. We're all
You
on
are
the same
right.
screen.
Yes, exactly.
That's why we're smiling, because you're just hitting all of these notes that we've already discussed. It's amazing.
It is
This
amazing.
is really enjoyable.
Yeah.
I love that we can project this sort of energy, because this is what we do. Anywhere that we show up together, this energy just comes alive, right?
Mhm.
We're not stopping life from being. Whatever, it doesn't have to come out perfectly. God knows it never comes out perfectly.
Yeah.
But the willingness to show up and to be there and to let God speak through you, whatever needs to be said or shared, that is something that I will never shy away from doing. That it doesn't matter how I look like a fool, or the words get stumble on my words. That determination to show up and to live, like, we can have this conversation just for us, but there is this compelling feeling inside all of us that we want to share this with other people, because we know it's going to serve them. And what can serve them better than this, knowing that this energy is possible, that it's actually possible to be connected to this energy.
Yeah, absolutely. That was beautifully said.
I
don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions or not.
Please, yes, go ahead.
I'm going to.
I
Kills you.
Is what keeps you guys
this bus.
what keeps your guys' energy like it is? Like, I explained for me, but what about you guys? What do you do to keeps your energy flowing? Because it's not fake, it's not artificial, it's not manufactured. It's a natural flowing.
Yes.
So what is that like for you guys?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Patrick. You want to answer?
Yes, I'll go first. Absolutely. The one big thing is that God is real, and everything else flows from that. So because God is real, if my government is not fair, there's someone I can appeal to. If my boss is not fair to me, there's someone I can appeal to. If I just feel like my life is just terrible, there's someone I can appeal to. There's always this higher power. And then to know that higher power created me, and he's infinite love and infinite power and infinite knowledge, how can you get stuck in a rut? You can. And then the other thing is this gift that I feel like is one of the greatest gifts he's given us. And that is, we get a result that corresponds to every action we take. Think about that. You get a result that corresponds to every action you take. So if you want a good result, take a good action. It's going to come every single time. And so that means the ball is always in your court. If you don't like where you are, then take a different action, get a different result. and just toying with that and playing with that and trying to feel my way through that to get these results that I want coming in, it's like a game. And I'm here for it every day.
Absolutely. That's when you first said that, the first statement you made, I was like, man, I just pictured you getting up and dropping the mic and walking off. But then you had like 3 other mic drops in there. That was awesome, Patrick.
Thank you. That's it, man. That's
Seems
it.
like he thought about this question long and hard.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. Really amazing.
Yeah. How about you,
For
Katarina?
For me, I see life as a game, as a play. So I'm still like a child inside myself. I get excited about every morning that I wake up. First of all, I'm thrilled I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
So what can I do today to make this day better than yesterday? That is my only thought. So it's the gratitude, it's the appreciation of every little thing that's on my path. And that inspires this greatest feeling inside me, and that attracts more things like that. So that's basically my life.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
There's not much thought in it, Joy. It's just a feeling that guides me.
Yeah, that's mainly what it is, right? Our thoughts, our thoughts dictate our feelings. Yes. So oftentimes people will be led around by their feelings, and it's like, but you're choosing to attach to those feelings. So you're just explaining it in a different way, that you're choosing, you're choosing the feelings you attach to. And that's a big part of it. You talked about being childlike, and I love that, man. I love getting to just joke around. Like, this is so much fun for me. And I have a 26-year-old son. His name is Jojo. And he would want me to call him Joe. But he told me a while ago, he goes, you know what, Dad? I think you should go by Joey, because he used to. I think you should go by Joey, and I should go by Joe, and he should go by Joe. And I go, why is that? He goes, I don't know. I kind of think I'm a little more mature than you. And I said, I hope it stays that way the rest of my life, young man. You know?
Yeah. There's a secret in there. You know what else? Speaking of what you said, Katarina, is just the enthusiasm for life in general. When that can come when you understand what a miracle life is, like everything that has to happen just for us to be sitting here in these seats right now.
Exactly.
That is worthy of celebration.
What is there to complain about? What is there not to appreciate? Yes.
Yeah, like since we've been sitting here, how many times have you guys focused on breathing? Not even once, right? We are breathed.
Yes.
You think about that. We are breathed. We intake and exhale air automatically. We don't ever have to think about it. We don't have to think. We don't have to reach in and kind of pump our heart to get going.
To make it happen.
It is an absolute miracle. Yeah. Sitting here with you two right now, this conversation right now is a miracle.
Yeah.
And, going along those lines, Patrick, is while we working with a client, and I always celebrate successes because the importance of that and everything, and really celebrate them. And people go, well, I had this little thing happen, and they'll tell me what it is. And I'll celebrate it. But then I go, so who determines whether or not you have a miracle? Who determines whether that was a life-changing miracle or just a oops?
Yes.
You do. We all do for ourselves. So if we have that choice, why would anything be small?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. Everything.
Okay.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Both of you have said that to me, that there's no such thing as small things.
I think God is trying to tell you something. Yes.
I'd like to hear both of your perspectives on that, how you explain that.
All we could do is bring you the message, Patrick.
Yes.
Well, I'm a willing listener here.
What was your question, though?
You've both said that there's no such thing as small, in different ways. But I'd like to hear both of you explain it in your way, how you see that.
Yes. Yeah.
Katarina.
Well, to me, is life has, like you were saying, there is no good or bad experience. Why would we label anything? I don't think that life gives us this, it's a hard life and hard struggle. That is some narrative that is floating up there in the ethers, right? That's not the right narrative for life. Life just is. And who gives meaning to your life if not you yourself? Right? And if I am giving meaning, I'm going to give it the highest possible meaning. So I attach my experiences to highest possible meaning. I use my experience in life as a tool to grow spiritually, because that feels most aligned with all who I am and why I was
Right.
born. So I just came across that, like, I wanted to feel good inside, on the inside.
Hmm.
I realized that that is up to me, that no one else governs my feelings here,
Yes.
of my state of being. So if it's a choice, I'm going to give it the most empowering choice, because it's easy. I can
Wow.
choose to feel
Yeah.
disempowered. I can choose to feel
Yes.
a victim in that circumstance, or I can choose to rise above it and accept
Right.
the higher viewpoint. And I always chose that perspective because it brought me peace, it brought me ease, it brought me grace, it brought me understanding that that's a
Yeah.
blessing that's happening to me, not a curse. And then I
Wow.
started applying that to everything, everything, and I
Hmm.
mean everything,
Uh-huh.
breathing included in
Yeah.
that, right? Then life becomes this empowering adventure. It's
Yeah.
unstoppable, and it can just go in one direction. There is no
Hmm.
crashes no longer. That there isn't a roller coaster. I hate roller coaster rides, right? So there is no more crashes like that, right? So I can manage my vibrations are up there higher, and I can manage
Hmm.
them. Doesn't have crashes, you know. It's steady there. It goes
Yeah.
up and down, it dips, and I enjoy it. But
All of it.
if I face
Wow.
a contrast, and I understand that the contrast is there, because I know where my final destination is, I'm
Uh-huh.
meeting with God at the end of this life,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I know the
Yes.
outcome is good, come what
Yes.
may. So whatever comes, I'm going to give it a meaning, that this is this, even through that experience, I'm still going to meet God at
Yeah.
the end of it. So I'm going to go
Wow.
through it.
That's
Wow.
awesome. What a great outlook. What a
And it
great
can go
outlook.
on and on
Wow.
and on. I can talk about it.
Wow.
Why am I talking the most here?
That makes so much sense.
Interested to hear Joy
Yes.
on this same topic.
Yes.
How did you, because it's equally the other
Yeah,
side, right?
I came about it a little bit different ways. I was on the other side. You know, when I talked
Hmm.
to the guys on the rimpage and stuff like that about when I did that video and I talked about that, like disappointment, discouragement, things like that. Like I spent a long time there. I spent a long time in my life thinking I wasn't enough. I spent a long time thinking that my failures were because I was flawed and broken in some way. And so I came from that other side. And even though I've always been kind of a jokester and happy on the outside, I felt a long time in my life like I was a clown. Like on the outside,
Uh-huh.
people would be like, man, that guy's hilarious, stuff like that. But
Oh.
inside, I was dying, you know? And
Mm,
so, and as I started
Oh.
learning this stuff and started with the whole mindset, conscious mind, you know,
yes.
I was the
Hmm.
most positive thinker around of anybody I knew. And people would say that to
Uh-huh.
me all the time, but my life was falling apart more and more as I was going through that process. So I've been through
Hmm.
those disappointments. I know what that side is like. And
Mm,
once I started understanding, if I take something that's people would consider smaller, I used to consider it small, and I blew it
Yeah.
up to be a bigger, even a bigger deal. I didn't do it. I allowed it to be a bigger deal. I allowed it to have a more
Yes.
positive impact. I allowed it, you know, I
yes.
work out every time I add even 2.5 pound plates to the weight
Uh-huh.
that I'm lifting. It's like a
Hmm.
huge celebration for me. I have a book of all my miracles and
Uh-huh.
you know, to that. And I found that I came into this finding that as I did that, they grew. And so I started looking more
Yes.
into doing that. And then
Yes.
what I found is even when those exact things aren't happening, everything else is growing along that lines as well. But when
Yeah.
I was compared to when I was focusing on what's wrong and what's wrong with me and what's wrong with the world and
Yes.
what's wrong with
Yes.
this and wrong with that, I got more of that showing up in my life. And it really is
Yes.
that mindset
Yes.
alignment is whatever
Yes.
we're focused on is what we're going to
Yeah.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the
Wow.
necessity
Yeah.
here to raise that vibration, to raise that feeling, from feeling disappointed, from feeling frustrated, from feeling anguish, from feeling all of those anxieties, to just looking for the next feeling of relief. Like, you don't have to go straight to joy and bliss, but getting
Yeah.
outside and feeling better in the moment
Yeah.
than you were
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
in the previous moment. So the goal
Mm.
has to be, I need to feel better in the next hour than I'm feeling now, rather
Oh,
than dwelling in that feeling of I'm sorry for myself, and wanting
right.
to find validation in others, to say,
Mm.
yes, poor you had this experience and it crushed you, and now you have every reason to feel the way you are feeling, and they keep you there.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Absolutely. Yeah.
they do it out of not knowing better, but this is the importance of
Mm.
working with
Right.
someone who appreciates this, the need
Right.
to raise
Right.
your vibration higher, to feel better.
That was beautifully said, Katarina. I just want to take a
Yes.
moment and like
Yes.
that was all of that just fit. It really was. But I can help I have helped people change their entire life on one single action. And part of the SMT method is developing systems of accelerating habits. So
Uh-huh.
doing things that successful people know it's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things a certain way. So
Yeah.
as we start shifting that, I can take somebody who's a couch potato and overweight and miserable and drinking and whatever it may be, you can add to the list and add and add and add. But I can take somebody and teach them one action that they can do, and which will break that mold and set them on a pathway to the next healthy action. So the only thing I'd say is where you were saying that about, what am I doing in hours ahead and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't even look at that. I look at what am I doing right now. I'm drinking
Yes.
water. I could be drinking,
Yeah.
for a long
Yeah.
time in my life, it was soda
Right.
I was drinking and stuff.
Right.
But I do
Right.
one healthy thing. And then I do this, and I take that person that's on the couch and I get them to walk down the block and back. And
Uh-huh.
now all of a sudden, the next time they eat, it's like, I don't want to eat as much of this. I want
I
more of
have a
this.
choice. Now I feel I have a choice, right?
It's automatically built into us.
Yes.
I've been having a problem recently where I'm not getting enough protein and carbs in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the mindset, right? The mindset says if I eat less, than I'll drop weight, stuff, all that and stuff. But so I started working with a nutritionist yesterday. All I did was had a half-hour conversation with her, and all of a sudden last night I packed on another 400 calories of carbs and proteins. I get up this morning, and all of a sudden, instead of going to breakfast and then out to lunch and stuff it's I got a bag over here with my lunch in it with healthy things, but more food than I've used to eating. And it's like one action, one single action. It's just one action is all you have to do. You don't have to change your whole life right here, now, in this moment. You just need to take one single action and then another single action, and it continues to compound.
Wow.
That's it. That's it.
Ease them into it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That is.
This is a great conversation. We should do this for like 6 hours every day, 6.5 days a week.
More often. We have to do this more often.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I love this free flow of it too. It's just so much fun.
My platform is open like that, and even though I do want to shine the light on you and what you do, the conversation is still open, and it flows better and it attracts more viewers when it flows like this, when we just go for it and people feel this energy. They love it. Like, my views have tripled since Patrick has been a guest on this platform, right?
Oh, I could see that.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
I can imagine when they get 3 times this energy, how they're going to feel.
Right.
Katarina, you have a great laugh too. Oh my God, it's contagious. It is.
I've told her that. Joy, one of the reasons I'm so excited about you joining Rimpage is these players, like we know their story. They've had this dream since they were kids, and then that dream met with reality, and it didn't happen for them. And now they're sort of in this place of disappointment, but they're still competing. They're still willing to get on the court. So there's some hope there. And now Rimpage has provided the opportunity there. So now we just need the mindset to align with the opportunity, and things will explode for them. And that's where you come in, is helping them with that mindset. But the other thing is, we're going to show the world that there's a champion inside of these guys. But what's really exciting is we're going to show them that there's a champion inside of them.
Once we
And-
show them, Patrick, they will
Yes.
show the world. We don't have to worry about covering the world.
Yes.
Once we show them, and
Yes.
you know, and part of the whole thing of why I'm so on fire about this is you know, I come from that other side. I started doing the works I do today when I was 22 years old. I didn't step into it until I was in my 40s into really doing it. So I went through that whole time, and every time there was an opportunity, and I would go out and look for them, and I get it, and it wouldn't be what I wanted, and so I beat myself up. And so I've been through a different avenue, maybe, but I've been through exactly what these guys have been through.
Yes.
And the really thing I'm excited about is what took me 3 decades or 2 decades, over 2 decades to understand and implement. We can do that with these guys in their teens and in their 20s, and think about how big their impact is going to be throughout their lifetime in doing so.